Welcome back to another Formula One Manager 23 video. This is CringeyJesse, and we are going into Qatar. We are also getting into that point where soon we will be using engine parts for the first time this season, but not this race. Not this race. Maybe the next one. Hopefully the one after. Right now we are trying to build up our funds down there so that I can do it without going into debt, because that's the last thing I want to do. Even if it's a little debt, I just don't want any debt. Anyway, Sophia finally finished a race again. Unfortunately, not the best spot to finish, and Qatar is not the best race for tires already, on top of her ability of not keeping tires well. This is going to be an interesting one, so let's get into it. And here comes Pierre Gasly to set the time to beat here in Q1. What I didn't realize was that this is a sprint weekend. So yes, even though I might be able to hold them off on changing engine parts this week. Wow, a purple sector 3 for Sophie. 0.095 seconds behind Gasly. Here comes Pierre Gasly sitting P19. Sophie behind him sitting P20. Coming across the line here in Q1, Gasly they'll just stay P19, P20 here in Qatar for the sprint race. Very, very interesting developments happening here.
We're ready for the sprint here in Qatar. And it's lights out. And away we go.
Here we are for the sprint race, and here for the sprint race here in Qatar for the first time this season. Sophia Flores will actually outperform her teammate Pierre Gasly in qualifying, as there is a yellow flag up ahead. Multiple cars have crashed, and Gasly is going to get in front of Sophie because of that stopped incident. And let's see what happened. As we see the pack coming down to turn 1, Mick Schumacher is going to touch one of the Alfa Romeos and just come to a complete stop. Not sure which AlphaTauri that was, but it was definitely one of them. Gasly on the tail of Mick Schumacher. Coming down to turn 1, he's going to have the outside lane there. And up into P18 goes Pierre Gasly. And now this is where we hope that Sophie actually follows Pierre Gasly through the crowd and moves up herself. Oh, Mick Schumacher. I put her on the ERS to try to get around Mick Schumacher, but Mick Schumacher went into the pit lane, so Flo is up into 19th as Pierre Gasly gets around Theo Pourchaire for P17. Theo Pourchaire is in the pit lane, so Sophie's going to move up to P18. Line with 10 laps to go. Pierre Gasly with the DRS on Ricciardo, so that's another spot gain for Pierre Gasly. Coming down to turn number 1 here. I don't know how long I've been in 1 times. Anyway, Gasly will get up in front of Albon for P15 now. 2 laps to go here in Qatar, and Pierre Gasly looking up the inside on Lando Norris. Oh, someone in the back went off.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Not exactly sure who it was. It was Albon. Albon went off in the back there. Just right off the track. That's unfortunate for him. He has caught up to Yuki Tsunoda and is going around the outside now as the inside, and up into P12 he goes as Max Verstappen is going to go ahead and win this race. We'll finish this race. Started P20, ending P12. But now we have Sophie who's coming around the last bend now. She's right behind Albon. Can she make a move to get in front of Albon before the line? Looks like she's side by side with him. Is she going to be able to get in front of him? And oh my goodness. By the time they get to the line, Sophia Flores has moved up to P16 in front of Alexander Albon.
We're about to get going here in Qatar. Lights out, and away we go.
Alright, so starting P20 and P19 with Sophia actually out-qualifying her teammate Pierre Gasly. After the sprint race, Gasly moves up to P12, and Flo moved up to P15, P16, but has now moved up to P15. She's side by side with the other rookie this year, for sure, who is beating her in the driver's standings at the moment. We'll see how that one works out. There's a wreck, and it looked like a Red Bull. Perez has left the track. Multiple cars have crashed, it said. Let's take a look at that one as we look at Kevin Magnussen P3, Sergio Perez P2, and they are both off of the track. I only saw the Red Bull as we passed them, but Magnussen is back there as well. That's going to put Gasly up into P10. And that's going to put Flo up into P13. Coming around the bend, Gasly trying to get up in front of George Russell, and up into P9 he will go. DRS and ERS for both drivers. We're going to watch Gasly first as he comes down to turn 1. He's going to have the outside there, and here comes Sophie. He's going to have the outside as well on Yuki Tsunoda. Gasly, he will make the pass. He will be up into P8, and Sophie will make it into P12. Here comes Pierre Gasly, one of the first to box as Lance Stroll comes in as well. Flo, still P12, but getting around the two people in the pit lane, she will finally see P10. I know she's seen P10 before, but unfortunately this is not a P10 that will last. Pierre Gasly coming out P17. One more stint to go. A total pit stop time of 36 seconds. There's a yellow flag. Multiple cars have crashed. Will it cause a yellow flag or a safety car, my bad, of any sorts? As we take a look at Carlos Sainz in P4. And 24, that has to be Zhou Guanyu. A little touch from both of them, and right off the road they go. No safety car, no virtual safety car, no nothing. P12 Gasly, P14 Sophie. Gasly is coming around to try to get around Vershoor as well. In front of Vershoor he goes, in front of Zhou he goes. 3 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Here in Qatar, sitting P6 at the moment. And Flo has made her way up into P12. And here comes Pierre Gasly in the pit lanes at P3. Bottas was in front of him. Leclerc. I don't see Leclerc shooting the rest of the race on what he's on. Gasly currently P7. Flo currently P9. She still has a stint to go, and it's coming up. The fastest lap as Flo is coming into the pit lanes at P8. Only made it up that far because a lot of people have boxed already. But coming in at P8, having a 2.9 pit stop. Coming out P17 right behind Alexander Albon. Somebody she was fighting to keep behind her earlier. And coming around, Norris goes into the pit lanes, so does Leclerc. Gasly was in front of both of them, so he's going to get that spot back. P4 with 15 laps to go, just under 8 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas. See if he can catch up to them at all. Catch up and get in front of him. She gets up in front of Mick Schumacher, and now Vershoor and Zhou, both Alfa Romeos, in front of her as they fight for position, trying to catch back up to Alexander Albon. A yellow flag is out. Virtual safety car is out. Lance Stroll is the cause, as we take a look at him right quick.
Just flies into that crash.
Dang.
That's one surefire way to put a dampener on your weekend.
We have here Gasly coming across the start-finish line to start the final lap. He's within striking distance, and he's going to go ahead and take P3 away from Bottas. Verstappen winning this race, Piastri getting second, Gasly coming around the last turn once again to cross the line for another podium for the season. P3 he will go, and that is the race for the Hasbros. That was the Qatar race. Results, is this for the weekend or is this just for the race? Because I know F123 does it for the weekend and then the race, and it looks like it's for the race. Anyway, Max Verstappen is your winner here in Qatar. He's found his way back on top 2 weeks in a row. I was about to say weekends, but I ended up saying weeks, and I'm still not feeling good if y'all could not tell. Oscar Piastri getting P2 and Pierre Gasly getting P3 with the fastest lap. Valtteri Bottas getting P4, Charles Leclerc getting P5, Lando Norris P6, Carlos Sainz P7, Kevin Magnussen P8, Esteban Ocon P9, Sergio Perez finding himself back in the top 10 after that wreck at the beginning of the race. Then you have George Russell, Zhou Guanyu, Alexander Albon, Richard Verschoor, Sophia Flores getting P15, Theo Pourchaire, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Daniel Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll, who was not able to finish this race. Moving on to the drivers, we have Pierre Gasly still leading it with 384 points. Max Verstappen trying to make a run for the P1 spot in drivers again. He sits P2, gaining 33 points this weekend with a total of 314 points in the season. You have Oscar Piastri. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to suck my nose there on the mic. I'm so sorry. Oscar Piastri holding on to P3 for the second week in a row after taking it from Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen P4. Then you have Sergio Perez, Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas. Wow, I skipped Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Lance Stroll, Theo Pourchaire, Daniel Ricciardo, Alexander Albon, Richard Verschoor, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, and Sophia Flores, still the only driver to not have a singular point. With only a couple more races this season, still the goal is to try to get her at least 1 point before it ends. Moving on to the constructors, Red Bull sitting on top with 453 points for the season. Haas sitting in second with 384 points to the season. And Alpine sitting in third with 358 points to the season. Then you have McLaren, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, and Williams, still the only team with single digits, sitting P10. And that, my friends, was the Qatar Grand Prix. It was a very interesting weekend for us here, as Sophia Flores, for the first time in her career, out qualified her teammate Pierre Gasly. I don't know what happened in qualifying for that to happen, but that is what happened. She got P19, he got P20. But Pierre Gasly put on another driving clinic this weekend, showing exactly what he can do, even coming from last. He started the sprint race in P20, ended the actual race in P3, still got on podium. So, the way I see it, good work. Good work from Gasly. Good work from Sophie. And, yeah, we still have a long way to go if we're going to make her a driver's championship before F1 Manager 24 comes out. We still don't have a release date on that game just yet. But, you know, I'm still going to assume within a couple of months at least. Again, I want to apologize for not being on time with my videos being released. I really have not been feeling good, but I got the last one and this one ready. Obviously not going to be put up the same day I recorded them, but you will see both of these in the same day. That is a guarantee. Up next is the United States Grand Prix down in Texas. Just looking real quick, 2, 3, 4, 5 more races to the season, and it's looking like an exciting end if you were to ask me. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, and if you can't wait for the next one, hit that subscribe button. I enjoy making these videos for you guys, and I really hope that you enjoy watching these videos. Um, whatever it is that you guys do outside of YouTube, I hope you enjoy doing it. And until next time, have fun.